So recently, archaeologists stumbled on a tremendous finding. It's a 2.8 million year old jawbone from a human-related species, and that discovery pushes our timeline of human evolution back 500,000 years. So this is an incredible finding. It's a huge breakthrough. Well, an Australian creationist named Taz Walker, which is a hilarious name, looked at these findings, and he isn't convinced. Taz Walker, a geologist from Creation Ministries International, said that he, quote, doesn't trust scientific dating methods because researchers deliberately skewed their findings. Now, did he provide any evidence to back that up? No, none whatsoever. He just said it. And of course, in the mind of a creationist, if you say something, well, it's true because I said it. Does science ignore that? But I said something, so it's true. So here's his actual quote. Every dating method is based on assumptions about the past. And so you choose the dating method to get the date, the sort of date to fit in with where it is, and you select the results that fit in with your research program. The only way to reliably know the age of something is by eyewitness reports. And basically, the Bible gives us an eyewitness report. People who were there from the beginning, that's recorded down, and it's about 6,000 years old. Where do I begin? So, eyewitness reports. Well, clearly this guy doesn't know that the Bible is not based on eyewitness reports. The Bible was written well after Jesus died, or I should say the New Testament. There were stories that were passed down and then passed down again, and then they wrote about it. So there's no eyewitness reports. What the fuck? Do you not even know basic Bible history? How sad is that? And if we're going to just take holy books, take it at its word. Take it at its word. Okay, well then, why isn't the Quran an example of an eyewitness account? It's more of an eyewitness account than the Bible is. So by your own logic, you should be a Muslim. Or how about the Bhagavad Gita? Right? You seem to not even think about the Bhagavad Gita. Well, what about that? What about any holy book that says anything, right? Because you're just taking the word of, well, it says stuff, therefore, eyewitness account. And you also seem to be unaware that eyewitness accounts or eyewitness testimony is like the least reliable form of evidence in a court of law. And they have it that way for a reason, because memories are totally unreliable. One person sees one thing, another person sees another thing. They put their own interpretation on it, their own spin on it. You see it from one angle, you see it from another angle. Things, vary tremendously. So the idea that eyewitness testimony overrides the scientific method, how crazy are you? And he says it, there's one line here that I think is pure projection. He goes, every dating method is based on assumptions about the past. And so you choose the dating method to get the date, the sort of date to fit in with where it is, and you select results that fit in with your research program. No, that's what you do. Every dating method is based on assumptions about the past? No, you and your religion is based on assumptions about the past, and assumptions that are verifiably untrue, demonstrably untrue. But the science is actually based on hardcore things, where it's a process by which you ascertain the nature of reality. You test it and you can repeat the tests. So, I'm sure they figure this out through some dating method, probably radioactive carbon dating or whatever it is, and that's something that we know gives us reliable information. Whereas you are pointing at a book which also says that the earth is flat and that dragons and unicorns exist. So who would you trust? But see, this is, the existence, at this late date in history, the existence of creationism and creationists is depressing, because you have to be willfully ignorant to be a creationist in today's day and age. You need to actively choose to disregard what is empirically correct. You need to, it's almost like they are picking lies and then becoming apologists for the lies because they're just more comfortable believing the lies. right? Like, it's almost like that old thing about how religious people, they're choosing it for emotional comfort because it helps them sleep better at night. But instead of being, like, humble in that, like a lot of people are, like, there are plenty of religious people who are religious for emotional comfort, but they're humble about the fact that they believe it for emotional comfort. And they'll say to you, it's just my faith. I'm not making any hard claims here. It's just what I believe. And you go, okay, whatever, fine. But then there's these guys who are like, no, I believe it only for emotional comfort, but I'm going to argue that it's right because my weak emotions can't take it if it's not true. So it's really sad, man. I feel bad for these people in a way. You know, I would feel nothing but bad for them, and I wouldn't be mad at them at all if they weren't actively spreading misinformation and trying to affect public policy and screwing up our education system and the science classes and stuff like that. So just a sad, sad guy, Taz Walker. You're making an ass of yourself on a daily basis. You might want to stop talking.